Hello and welcome back to my Let's Challenge of Final Fantasy XIII. In the last episode, we collected Vanille's Eidolon, the final Eidolon Hecaton chair here in the Mahabara Subterra, and now we're going to continue making our way, hopefully actually get out of this area in this episode, and then maybe look to making some progress through the next area, which is called Zulia Springs. So we'll see how we fare. It has been a fair while since I've last played the game, it must be said. And we will see how we go. I just want to check our paradigms. They should be, yeah, they're fine. So let us continue onwards. So yeah, Vanille Vanille getting her Eidolon is excellent. It means that she obviously has that extra ATB slot, which everyone loves. It means that she, can do one more attack in the time, in the same amount of time, which is wonderful. And really, puts her in as our favourite mage at the moment. She does an awful lot for the team right now, which is great. Okay, so let's see how we fare against these guys. So we've got some annoying enemies right now. Rust Pudding and the Pulsework Centurion. Okay, so we can actually only hit that guy slow. I'm assuming, Vanille does not want to try and hit this guy with... Oh no, I think he's weak to... not in peril. What's the third one? Poison, maybe. The Pulsework Centurion is by far the bigger threat here. Hopefully, once they get in gear, we'll be able to stagger this guy, and then we can really sort of relax a bit, because, yeah, there we go. Looks like we've got a lot of... Vanille's managed to get, like, a whole wealth of status on these guys, which is excellent. We'll quickly go back into Relentless Assault, probably just to finish this guy off, and then... it's good to get back into this. This is a game I cannot, unfortunately, do recordings when I'm at university, so it's nice to get, get along with it. Why did we get absolutely nothing for that?
I'll do what I can.
I wonder. Oh, because we took so long. It's not that simple a battle. Game. Oh, not the bombs, not the bombs. No one likes the bombs. I mean, we have a Sentinel, which means that we should hopefully be able to deal with the bombs, but no one likes the bombs. Still, Fang still hits these guys very hard. And again, just the trick with these, as I'm sure I've mentioned many times, is just to try and keep them as low health as possible so that they can never go into, ouch. So now we just have just the pulse book Centurion left. We can just quickly heal up. Get slow on this guy. And then, yeah, so just sort of flip between our Ravager paradigms. Get a nice quick stagger. And obviously once these guys are staggered, they're completely vulnerable to everything, so you don't need to worry about that. There we go. A lot of 0 stars, but we spent most of the game probably getting a lot of very low stars as star ratings on our battles, and that's just because of being on slow and all that stuff. Still, I'm pretty sure we're going to be heading very close to the end of this area, the end of sort of like the second major area here in Chapter 11. Obviously, we've done a lot in Chapter 11. In that we've been able to, we've done, interesting. Obviously, we have a team currently with no synergists. I think we've spoken about sort of like the benefits of synergists and saboteurs. Individually, certainly, sabs are generally have more useful abilities, but synergists are vital in those few battles where you really need them. But yeah, no, obviously, this is gonna come to an end, essentially, the second major area in Chapter 11. So Chapter 11 is obviously the longest chapter in the game, I would say, almost certainly. Obviously you've got the normal Grand Pulse, which we've already sort of, the Archilta Step, actually, is what I'm trying to say. And, we've spent plenty of episodes there doing lots of Seath missions and stuff like that. We obviously have done the Yashas Massif bits and bobs there, even though that isn't a strictly necessary area, that is completely optional. And then, what else have we done? Well, as round goes Atomos, the Grand Pulse Falsi, which I really think fits in with a lot of sort of like the lore about what Pulse and Lindsay have been set out to do. Like Pulse, the pulsing Falsies are looking for something. I don't think it's quite specified in this game what it is, so I won't sort of spoil that. But yeah, it's gonna keep boring, keep boring these holes away until it finds this. And so I think it's quite nice that you sort of have Atomos here, who's obviously digging and looking for things. And then you've got the other sort of Pulse Falsi, who also obey similar rules. You've got Dahaka, who flies in the sky. You've got, those are the main two, I'll be honest. Those are the main two I think of. So, that enemy there is a Juggernaut, I believe. Juggernaut, Dreadnought, I can't remember exactly. I think it's a Juggernaut. It's way too difficult for us. Easy to get preemptive, but still, we would die very, very fast against him. So we are not going to face him off on right now. We will definitely be coming back here in like post-game. And when we do that, then we'll have you know, be far more able to actually deal with an enemy like that. This is not a nice battle set here. Rather than dirty fighting, I'm actually going to go for devastation. Or maybe aggression. Maybe aggression instead of relentless assault. Just because of all the bombs, I'm pretty sure we're not going to prevent one of these from, like one of these will definitely probably get to explode, which is going to be a bit of a pain for us. But hopefully between us we can sort of manage it somewhat. If Vanille can keep firing off these lovely Faragas, that's doing an awful lot of work for us right now. Just thought we'd quickly heal up that. Also, you generally want, I think we generally want Ravager spells against these. There we go, lovely. And now we can start working on, you know, hindering these guys. It's A that we want to be aiming at, really. Nothing else is the thing. And naturally, obviously, Vanille does a slightly better job of sort of hurting these guys. Should have done devastation here. Seeing as Vanille can actually, you know, obviously impart some status elements on yeah, sort of by going aggression and devastation, what we've done is we've lost some of our combo capability. Nothing too serious, we should still be fine. Doing more than enough damage. But yeah, no, so of the main areas in Chapter 11, we have the Archilta Steppe, you have the Yashas Massif, completely optional. You then have the Mahabara Subterra, where we currently are. After the Mahabara, we then go to Sulia Springs. And after Sulia, we then have the build up to Taijin's Tower. And after Taijin's Tower, we then have... after Taijin's Tower, we then get... it's going to come to me eventually. Erba, that's the one. Erba. So obviously, and that's where we're sort of aiming to finish off. There are another couple of places around it. There's the Hyeri Archaeopolis, located back on the Archilta Steppe. We do have the chocobos to access that area, but generally there's no real point in us trying to do a lot of the seed stone missions there. You know, they don't really apply to where we currently are within the game, and at sort of, you know, our current skill level. surprised we actually managed to take one out. That was awesome. Well done. Evidently, Vanille with her Faragas is actually doing a hell of a lot more damage to these bombs than I was giving her initial credit for, so well done. Yeah, if we check the map, yeah, you can see that's sort of where we're aiming to get to by the end of this whole section. This is where we've sort of traversed. We have done the Seedstone mission, thankfully, here, which is also very useful. There is a secondary section to the Mahabara Subterra that's available once we actually sort of get to leave this area. Essentially, the path to leave this area is sort of follows two different, you have two different directions you can go. It will immediately drop us off at the next area, which, as I said, is Sulia. Probably should have changed. Probably should have changed our paradigms by now. Though we could definitely use some Vanille thundering around here. Lovely, there we go, down go the Rospillins. You can see we're missing our times, which means that we're certainly not getting a lot of the drops from these enemies, but that isn't, you know, like, enemy drops aren't entirely important to us right now. There will be sort of, I guess it'll get a little frustrating. We'll see how we fare when we get to like the end of, because normally, obviously we could be upgrading our weapons by now, and this is sort of around the time when I would advise sort of like upgrading weapons becomes viable. So around here, around sort of chapter 11, certainly, or chapter 12. Chapter 12 is usually where I start, so usually right at the start of chapter 12, or sometimes just at the end of chapter 11 if the final boss of chapter 11 is giving me a bit of trouble. Then, you know, I'll choose to upgrade, upgrade our weapons, and that obviously is entirely dependent on the what we've managed to scrounge from all the enemies. But thankfully, obviously, what we usually do is we actually have a long period of actually, you know, we usually have, you know, long periods of actually keeping at it, and you know, we've had all of the Yashas Massif trekking and all that sort of stuff, so that actually should have given us a decent building block on which to actually continue our battle. I think we want that as well. Yeah, we start smart one here. We want to I think we can pain the boxed phalanx. Can we pain the boxed phalanx? No, we can't. I got the one that's supposedly susceptible to slow. Well, this is the only thing I can actually use on this guy. I don't know. I can try and do some curse in some days. Geez, that version upgrade gives them literally all of the stats. All of the status. We'll probably use a Dispel Gun when we can. Come on, Vine, what are you doing? Attack. And Veneer's down. Yeah. I'm glad that we're sort of ending up in the air a lot here. Oh man. Bang, how do you not have Dispel Gun? How on earth do you not have Dispel Gun? That, or maybe I'm just used to, like, you know, higher level stuff. Anyway. We have Dispel. It's gonna be spamming days. Days. Is it? Yeah, okay. It's susceptible to days. I was wondering why I was spamming base so much. So obviously you can see that daze is immediately removed as soon as someone attacks you. You know, if you're afflicted by daze, the status gets removed when someone attacks you. That can be a bad thing, and it is, you know, it's obviously useful, but at the same time it can be very, very painful because the damage is obviously also increased when you get hit. If you know, if you're afflicted with daze and then you get hit by an enemy, the damage has a multiplier attached to it that I don't quite know how much is. As Snow says, he thinks we're almost here. We are very much almost here, and we're going to come to another cutscene, I believe.
No way through. That XIII must have been slacking.
Wait! Stop already! It's the vile geeks all over again. Hope! Get out of there! Is he trying to stop it? You can do it! What are they doing?
Ooh, well that was cool. Go robot guys.
Good lesson for us. Not even a mighty XIII is a match for the power of teamwork. That is inspiration right there.
Save the sermons, old man. Let's hop on Trailblazer here, while we still have the chance.
That is such a random scene. I really don't understand. It makes literally no sense, that whole cutscene. I don't know, but there we go. Okay, well, what this now allows us to do is actually board Atomos, and what we can do from here is we can then take the path to the next area. And where will Atomos drop us off? Atomos will drop us off at the start of XIII Springs, which is the next area. If we were to then climb back on Atomos and go again, that would then lead us to the secondary section of the Mahabharata Terra, which is entirely voluntary, and that bit can be a pain. There's a few mark missions, like late mark missions, that are an absolute nightmare to get through that section. But there we go. So we have a nice waystone here, which will allow us to teleport here, and that requires us to take out an Iridimu here on the XIII Springs subterranean lake. Time is of the essence. He must not defeat me in this. I must be the one to slay the Iridimu at XIII Springs. We were always together, he, my princess, and I, but it was he who won her love. Were he now to turn to Crystal, I fear it would break her heart. And so it must be me. Then my princess can live out her days in happiness, as a princess rightly should. There's lots of really nice little stories within the various sort of like Seathstone's tales. I always think is quite nice. So, having defeated Atomos, having faced off against Atomos, we can now arrive here in the beautiful XIII Springs, full of some very, very nice music. I think this is, I've seen a few people say that this is their favourite tune from the game, actually. And there's a couple of cutscenes here that I think we will do before finishing off this episode.
What you doing?
I was talking to Sarah. Just telling her that we're all gonna be okay.
It's so pretty. Sarah, you'd been crying, hadn't you? Back when we first met. This place was beautiful, and my focus was to destroy it. I decided to do nothing and wait to become a thief. But because I did nothing, others got dragged into this nightmare, and I was the one to blame. How's the scrape? What? Fine. Much better, thanks to you. Oh, sure you don't mind. I mean, I'm not keeping you from anything, am I? Not at all. Don't worry. I could sit here for hours. Hey, Sarah. Do you think we'll meet again? We might. Sure. See, the thing is, I was chasing after someone. And there's something I trying to keep something at a distance myself lately. Like what? Don't laugh, okay? It's a dream I had. A bad one. I dreamt I destroyed the world. It was terrifying. I needed some time alone. It had me so scared, I tried to run away. But then, my boyfriend, he came chasing after me. That's when I understood. Running away and leaving behind the people you care about, that isn't love. Though you might just want to keep them safe, shutting them out of your life only hurts them more. The point is, I have people I can count on. I'll make it through. I think you'll be fine. And you will be too. You'll find the words. I'm sure of it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. What else can I say? I'm not the one you should be asking, Vanille. You'll know what to say when you find your friend. We'll see.
You mean you met Sarah?
I tried to hide our focus, and she ended up on the sea. I wanted to say I was sorry, but
Well, when we rescue her, maybe you'll get the chance.
yeah, I hope so.
Come on.
I think Sarah saw the same vision of Ragnarok that we did. Which means Daisley had to be lying when he explained her focus. I think she beat it. She handed Cocoon over to us, and that's what made her turn to Crystal.
Yep. I know.
So there we have it, interactions between Vanille and Sarah, which is quite nice. Trying to remember when we actually get the interaction with the Fal'Cie of this area. So there's a little Fal'Cie, sort of like a sub-Fal'Cie, well not quite a sub-Fal'Cie, but you know how like in Cocoon there's like millions of like those doors at Fal'Cie in the Gapper at Whitewood. Those doors, the bulkhead doors, are still Fal'Cie. So you know there are lots of sort of Fal'Cie, and they have various different sort of authority, I guess. There is definitely a Fal'Cie around this area, which I think we get by defeating these Keratosaurs, which shouldn't be too much of trouble, hopefully. We've already faced worse than these guys. And they get easier each time, obviously. Because I'm sure we faced Keratoraptors already. So a nice little comment there, obviously in that little cutscene, you know, seeing what Vanille thinks of Sarah, the focus, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I tend not to agree. I don't think the idea that, you know, this one girl, Sarah, could actually, you know, beat, as Vanille puts it, the focus that she's been given sort of works from a story standpoint. I don't think that's nearly as strong a story as, you know, what Daisley says. I still think what Daisley says is true. Because she says, you know, she had a dream that she destroyed the world, it's hardly the same. I mean, it's difficult to say, because obviously the dream that they see is very sort of abstract and very much leaves things open to debate, which in many ways you could argue is why on earth is the Fal'Cie leaving the focus that they want people to do up to debate? It's a good question, but yeah, no, I don't think that sort of that explanation fits nearly as well. I think it's a nice sort of question to pull, but I don't think it fits as well. I like how Snow comes over here to tell us to sort of have a look, and if we do, here we go.
This place is guarded.
That false sea protects the waterfront.
Must think we came to stir up trouble.
Well, if that's what it thinks, shouldn't we probably be heading off now?
Looks like it's a little late for that.
Thing looks pretty confident, too.
It should be clumsy out of the water. If we can get it to follow us on neutral land. Well, better than fighting a foul sea.
So that little Falsey, his name is Bismarck, and is the protector of the Sulia sort of lakefront. As you can see, what talking to him does actually spawns a couple of platforms with a couple more items for us to try, and a couple of the hardest battles in this area. They're very similar to the battles that we had in by the Chocobo, sort of the Chocobo Oasis, that area. So we see Keratosaurs, always annoying enemies, along with some Sahagin type enemies called, I think they're called Orobons, and they are also very, very frustrating to deal with. So a couple of difficult battles await us at the start of the next episode, but that will be very much in the next episode. I hope you have enjoyed this episode as we finally made our way up the Mahabharata of Terror. I hope you'll join me in the next, where we'll hopefully be able to finish off Sulia, because Sulia is a pretty small area, as you can see. Just literally entirely this little zone here. We've got a battle there, another battle, we've got the Mark mission up the top, and then we can come around and actually head up towards Tyjon's Tower. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed this episode, and I hope you'll join me on the next.